How is it going, everyone? Today I'm here with my WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2018 live review. Of course, I was at TLC tonight, and overall, I gotta say, coming from a live perspective, I definitely thought it was a great, fun show. You know, there's a lot of great matches, a lot of great fun moments. There really wasn't much to complain about at all about TLC, if anything. You know, maybe there's a match or two that really wasn't all that good, but besides that, I thought TLC was a very enjoyable show. You know, one of the best pay-per-views of the year by WWE, by far, which really isn't saying much because most of the pay-per-views have been really piss poor quality shows. But if I had to put up, you know, TLC, it'd definitely be in the top three, you know, between that show, the Royal Rumble, as well as Survivor Series. Those three definitely been the best quality pay-per-views this year from WWE, if you ask me. So I just thought TLC was a really fun show, and definitely was a great way to end the year for WWE, if you ask me. Of course, everything will be from a live perspective, so I won't really be going that in-depth into the matches like I usually do with my pay-per-view reviews, because again, this is from my perspective. And to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of tired, so I kind of just want to wrap this up as quickly as I possibly can, because it's been a long day. So just very glad I made the trip out to San Jose. It's only 2 hours from where I live, but at the end of the day, it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back, so it's 4 hours total in the day to go out there. So really glad I made the decision to go there for the show. And yeah, I just really thought TLC was a great show from WWE. Unfortunately, I did miss the first match on the kickoff show, because I actually got the arena like right at 3. So right as the kickoff show was starting, I arrived there, and of course I was in line at the merch stand, and as I was waiting, which I wasn't in line very long, I was only in line for maybe like I got in line probably like 3:15ish, around there, and the first match started, which was the WWE Cruiserweight Championship Match between Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy. I completely missed the match. I heard it was a pretty damn good match for the most part, so I'll definitely go back and rewatch it once I rewatch the show again. But I was kind of upset because that was one of the matches I did want to see, so I was kind of pissed off that I missed it. But what can you do? But the reason why I missed it is because, like I said, I was in the merch stand. Of course, the only thing I got at the merch stand was the TLC event shirt, which I really like. Of course, here it is right here. You got the Raw matches on top with Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax, as well as Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. The TLC logo right there. And of course, you have your SmackDown Live matches with Dana Bryan and AJ Styles, as well as the SmackDown Women's Title Triple Threat TLC match. And the best part about this shirt, in my opinion, is the back, because look how awesome this back is. You got a picture of Becky Lynch with the championship, and instead of saying "I was there," crossed it out, "the man was there." Just absolutely awesome back of the t-shirt. This is awesome. Really, that was great. So that was the t-shirt I got. And then, of course, I also got the event cup at the show as well, which is dumb because you buy a drink, but they don't even put the drink in the cup. I mean, I know arenas and stadiums have been doing this for a couple of years now, but I just think it's absolutely stupid that they do this. It's kind of pointless for me. But yeah, got the new cup, which looks really nice. Of course, you got Raw right there, and of course, you got SmackDown on the other side. So really nice cup right there. Those are the only two things I got. There really wasn't much in terms of merch quality that they had, and not to mention, you know, everything's marked up, and almost everything else you could get on WWE Shop easily. So that's why I didn't really need anything else. But yeah, Mr. Cruiserweight title match, unfortunately. Then of course the next match at the kickoff show, which I was actually very surprised this match got bumped to kickoff show instead of another match, which was the guitar ladder match between Elias and Bobby Lashley. It was a fine ladder match. You know, you got your stuff in from both competitors. Elias had his comeback. Bobby Lashley got his stuff in. And one spot that really confused me was when Bobby Lashley did like one of his finishers to the ladder onto Elias, which made no sense to me. To me, I'm like, wouldn't it have made more sense to Elias did his finish, or for Bobby Lashley did his finisher on Elias onto the ladder instead of throwing the ladder onto Elias? I don't know. I just thought that spot was very confusing. But of course, you know, yeah, Leo Rush got involved, and towards the end of the match, you know, Elias was able to overcome the odds and retrieve the guitar and win the match. So I thought it was kind of dumb as well that the way to win the match was just to retrieve the guitar. I thought you know, there's two different ways I heard that, either obviously by pinfall or submission, or you know, using smashing the guitar, which, by the way, remember, the rules going to the match were the first person to retrieve the guitar could use it legally, yet the person that retrieved it ended the match. So I just thought that was kind of stupid. But of course, afterwards, you know, you had Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley take out Elias, Leo rushing a frog splash onto Elias, followed by Bobby Lashley smashing him with the guitar. So even though Bobby Lashley lost, he still got the upper hand on Elias. So even though it's a big win for Elias, he still can't celebrate or, you know, have that one. So it was a fine match, and it really wasn't much to it, so, you know, I'm not going to complain about it. And then we go to the main show, which, how this opened the show, I don't know, it's beyond me. It was the Mixed Match Challenge Season 2 Finals, R-Truth and Carmella versus Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. Nothing of a match here. You basically had Alicia and Jinder lock in headlocks for a couple minutes. You had your dance break spot, which was pretty funny, especially when the singers got involved. But Carmella ended up submitting Alicia Fox to win the Mixed Match Challenge Season 2 Finals, so R-Truth and Carmella are your winners. And of course, afterwards, R-Truth announced that their vacation would be at the WWE headquarters. I mean, obviously they weren't really going to send anyone on vacation, but still, the fact that they just, I don't know, I just thought that was funny that they ended up having R-Truth go to WWE headquarters instead for a vacation. So, R-Truth Carmella will be number 30 in the Royal Rumble matches, and they'll be going to the WWE headquarters on vacation. So, really wasn't much match, like I said. I don't know why I even opened the show, but that was that. And then, of course, we go to the triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Bar versus the Usos versus the New Day. This was a great match here. You know, at first it was kind of slow because it was just the Bar and the New Day. And then once the Usos got involved, I thought shit definitely went up to a whole new level. A bunch of crazy spots. The Usos were just red hot. And they were super over too, by the way. They were, the pop they got and they came out was just absolutely tremendous. And they were just one of the most over acts in the show by far. And you had a lot of great near falls as well. You know, there's actually some points where I thought the Usos or the New Day were actually going to win the tag team titles, but the Bar were able to fend off. Cesaro looked like an absolute beast, hitting some great uppercuts and doing a great swing for like 20 seconds. There's just a lot of great action involved in this tag team match, and I thought it was a lot of fun. The crowd definitely was really into it, and he got a lot of time as well. So definitely was one of the better matches in the show. Really enjoyed this, and I love the finish as well with, you know, Sheamus hitting a bro kick on Xavier Woods when Xavier Woods went for the honor roll DDT. Absolutely destroyed him. 1, 2, 3 retained the SmackDown Tag Team titles for the Bar. So that was a really fun triple threat match. You know, pretty much went to the expectations, and I had a lot of fun with it. So great match there. And then of course we go to the tables, ladders, and chairs match. Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin, which of course this wasn't even a match. Corbin comes out, Heath Slater's referee, and says that, you know, count him out. And once Slater got to 7, Strowman of course came out. Strowman got a mic and said, "Hey, you do realize this is a no DQ match, right? That means anyone can come out and help me win that hates you." Which prompts Apollo Crews, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and Finn Balor to come out. They all beat Corbin up with chairs. Corbin tries to retaliate and leave, but once he actually tries to leave, Kurt Angle comes out, which I popped huge for because honestly I wasn't expecting Kurt to come out, so I popped huge for Kurt. Kurt beats him down with a steel chair. Back in the ring, everyone beats the fuck out of him. Apollo Crews hits the frog splash. Roode and Gable hit the neckbreaker moonsault combination. Balor hits a coup de grace, and Angle hits a angle slam onto Corbin. And then of course, you know, Strowman just walks up, puts his foot over his chest. 1, 2, 3, and Braun Strowman defeats Baron Corbin. So Baron Corbin is fired as the GM, and Braun Strowman gets Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Even though it really wasn't a match at all, I thought it was awesome. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the beatdown on Corbin was great. The moment was awesome. You know, the pop for Angle was insane as well live. It was just a whole lot of fun. So even though it wasn't a match, it was a great segment. I had a lot of fun with it. So hopefully Strowman's, you know, going to be fine soon. Obviously he's still in the sling, so he's not going to be back for a little while still. So, but like I said, regardless it wasn't a match or not, I still had a lot of fun. I thought it was absolutely awesome. So that was really enjoyable. Then of course we go to the tables match between Natalya and Ruby Riott. It was fine. My only complaint really was that it went on too long. I can't hate the match. You had, you know, Natalya pretty much put everyone through a table. You know, the Liv Morgan spot was pretty insane, how she went flying through that table. And of course, she ended up, you know, scoop slamming Sarah Logan through a table. And then at the end, you know, she ended up bringing a table out with her ride on it. And then she ended up putting her dad's jacket on, which was great. And just pointing to the sky to her dad, which I thought was a great moment. And then at the end, you know, ended up powerbombing Ruby Riott through the table to win the match. And then afterwards, put on the pair of sunglasses as well. Even though I didn't care for the match, I thought it was a great moment for Natalya, especially with, you know, the whole putting the jacket on and her putting the sunglasses on. I thought that was definitely a great moment for her. So yeah, I didn't care for the match, but definitely was a feel-good moment. I was honestly, I'm not going to bullshit you, I was kind of getting teary-eyed watching it. So yeah, it was what it was. And then of course from there we go to Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre. Where's the camera at? Haven't I been looking at the camera the entire time? I don't even know where the camera's at. I might have been not looking at the camera the entire time. So if I'm not looking at the camera, I apologize. New phone, still getting used to what's what. So, and then like I said, we go to Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre. I thought the match was good. It was a good match. McIntyre was very dominant in this match over Finn Balor. Was just throwing him around left and right. Balor had a nice comeback, and then towards the end of the match, of course, Dolph Ziggler came out. Ended up attacking Drew McIntyre. Or McIntyre took him out, which allowed Finn Balor to get the upper hand on McIntyre. Hit the coup de grace and beat Drew McIntyre 1, 2, 3. Very, very surprised that Finn Balor beat Drew McIntyre here. I thought for sure that you know, Drew McIntyre had a very easy victory over Finn Balor, but you know, Finn Balor, this definitely was a huge win for him, and I don't think it hurt McIntyre at all, especially considering the way he beat McIntyre. Definitely didn't hurt him. So I thought it was a big win for Balor, and yeah, it was a pretty damn good match for the most part. From there, we go to the chairs match, Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio. This was a good match. I just didn't really, I don't know, I just didn't really care all for it, to be perfectly honest. It was just one of those things where I was watching it, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. I love the spot where Mysterio had Orton set up on the chair and went for like the sit out, and then Orton moved out of the way and just absolutely ate shit, and like the back of the chair almost like stabbed him in the back. That was a great spot right there. But then of course another great spot where Mysterio did the slide off the apron to the outside, and he had the chair with him underneath him. So when he landed on Orton, he smushed the chair between him and Orton. So I thought that was a great spot right there as well. Orton set some chairs up, and then Mysterio ended up rolling up Orton for the finish to beat Orton. So I thought it was a clever way. I definitely was surprised that Mysterio beat Orton, because I thought for sure Orton would beat Mysterio. But if they're gonna beat Orton, the best way to do is having him basically rolled up, and he didn't beat him, he didn't lose clean. I mean, he lost clean, but he didn't lose from a finish or whatever. So I definitely thought that was the best way to protect Orton as well. So Orton Mysterio, good match. I just didn't really pay much attention to it, to be perfectly honest. From there we go to the Raw Women's Championship match, Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. This was very surprising. I thought this was a very good match. Nia Jax really isn't known for having good matches, so the fact that her and Ronda Rousey went out there and had another really good match. Well, the match in Money in the Bank I thought was good, but this was really good in my opinion. So I thought Ronda Rousey was definitely very over. She was very dominant over Nia Jax as well, especially with the Superman punch she gave her. I thought that was a great spot. And, Nia Jax held her own. And, Nia Jax just scared the shit out of me when she hit the Samoan drop. And got a great near fall on Ronda. Ronda nearly kicked out, or barely kicked out, I should say. And then, of course, she went for the top rope Samoan splash. But, Ronda fought out of it. And then, Ronda ended up blocking the armbar submission on Nia Jax to submit her. So, like I said, that was a really good match. Ronda looked absolutely awesome. Nia Jax, held her own and probably had her best performance in her career to date. And just thought it all, fell in very well. I thought both performers put on a hell of a match, and it was really enjoyable. And it was definitely, a lot of fun live as well. So, Nia Jax, I'll give her credit. As much shit as I give her, definitely gotta give her credit and credits too. So she deserves it here. And yeah, Ronda, probably her best title defense to date. So, really enjoyed that match. And then we go to, which I thought was match of the night, my favorite match personally, the WWE Championship match, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. I thought these two went out there and had a fantastic wrestling match. They went out there, the story with Bryan working on AJ's leg, and then AJ working on his leg, and AJ absolutely destroying it to the point where I thought Bryan was actually going to tap out a handful of times, especially when he had the calf crusher in the middle of the ring, and Bryan was like legit on the verge of tapping out. I legitimately thought AJ was winning the championship back at some point, and the crowd was red hot for this match as well. I'm not sure how it turned out on TV, but I want to say it was about 60-40 AJ to Bryan in terms of chants. Like, it was loud in there for this match, and I think these two went out there and had a lot of great back and forth action. The near falls were great as well. The playbacks to the callbacks to the previous matches, with AJ going for the forearm and Bryan pulling the ref from the way and AJ stopping. That was a great spot, and AJ just absolutely to the point where he just started beating the fuck out of Daniel Bryan. Hit the forearm on the outside of Bryan. Hit a beautiful 450 on Bryan as well. And then the heel persona Bryan's been portraying as well is the aggression out of him. I thought he was just doing a fantastic job. And these two just went out there and had a tremendous wrestling match. Probably the best match of both their careers this year. Definitely by far. I just thought they put on an amazing match, and it was a lot of fun live. Like I said, my match tonight, I thought it was absolutely awesome. Loved every second of it. And of course, Bryan, I got the win after a small a sequence of small packages. Bryan got the upper hand of it in 1, 2, 3. Beat AJ Styles, retained the WWE Championship. Like I said, fantastic match. My match tonight, both of their best matches of this year by far. So, really enjoyed Bryan Styles. They absolutely tore the house down. And then, of course, we go from them tearing the house down to these two absolutely just trashing the house, unfortunately. Of course, the next match was the Intercontinental Championship match. Dean Ambrose challenging Seth Rollins. Very underwhelming match here. I didn't enjoy it at all. They were boring chants, respectively, to be perfectly honest, because it was a boring match live. This match, I can see this being a match where I go back when I watch it and liking it a lot more, because I kind of did that with Nakamura and Styles from WrestleMania live. I didn't really enjoy that match all that much, but going back and watching it back, I did think it was a really good match. And I did see some mixed reactions on Twitter. I saw some people saying it was a great match. I saw some people agreeing that it was a boring match, that were watching it on the network as well. And it just, I don't know, the whole feud is, boiled up that these two can't stand each other and they absolutely want to rip each other apart. Yet when the match starts, they just have a regular wrestling match. And you know, it went on way too long too. It went like 20+ minutes, and it just felt like it was dragging. They weren't really doing anything. You know, Rollins hurt his knee, or was selling the knee at least, to the point where, you know, he did the flip for the power bomb. When he landed, he fucked his leg up, and, you know, I don't know if Ambrose had improvised, but Ambrose like stood on the second rope like posing, and then Rollins was able to hit the bucket bomb after that. But you know, there really wasn't much to this match. You know, you had the Nigel spot where Ambrose dumped Rollins in the ropes and hit the lariat. You know, Rollins hit the buckle bomb on the outside into the barricade. Rollins hit, you know, of course, the Falcon Arrow. You just, you know, you had your typical stuff from both men, but they just, I don't know, there really wasn't such an urgency. They weren't really doing anything, and it just was a huge letdown. It really wasn't enjoying the match. It was too slow, and they just didn't do anything. You know, it's a huge disappointment, like I said. And of course, you know, at the end, Rollins tried to pretty much, you know, give Ambrose the you know, the sacrifice of him, pretty much just ending him. But Ambrose, you know, put the fist out for the Shield, like, hey, Shield, you know, and Rollins wasn't having it. Went for the curb stomp. Ambrose ended up countering it into Dirty Deeds, and 1, 2, 3, Dean Ambrose is your brand new Intercontinental Champion. I didn't enjoy this match live. It was okay at best. It wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable, and, you know, I don't know. It was very underwhelming, and it was one of the matches I was excited for the most, and just, it did not deliver at all. Probably their worst match they've honestly had, to be perfectly honest. You know, even to their Elimination Chamber 2015 match. It was still a really good match, but that's probably their weakest match they had at that point. But this match definitely, I would say, is their weakest match they've had so far. So, Ambrose Rollins, unfortunately, did not deliver by any means, and it was just... And Ambrose's theme gave me a headache too, by the way. The new sirens in his theme just gave me absolute headache being there in person, so I absolutely hated that. But yeah, I didn't, and the crowd wasn't in the match as well. You know, even people tried to chant CM Punk, which I immediately booed, but yeah, just very underwhelming. And then, of course, go to the main event, which was the triple threat tables, ladders, and chairs match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. This was an incredible main event. I thought all three ladies went out there and killed it. They utilized, you know, pretty much everything besides chairs. Well, they used the chairs, but they didn't really utilize it that much. They used kendo sticks more than anything else, to be perfectly honest. They had some great spots. You know, Charlotte doing the spot where she did the swanton through the tail on Becky to take her out. Asuka hitting the hip attack onto Becky. And while she was like stuck in the ropes, Charlotte just absolutely started annihilating her with the chair. You know, Charlotte speared Asuka through the barricade. Well, she didn't go through the barricade, but like broke the barricade a little bit. Asuka, I believe, power bombed Charlotte through a table, but the table didn't break in the corner, ended up just breaking like the leg of it. So that kind of got fucked up, but who cares? You know, still a cool little spot. Becky did, of course, kind of recreated her spot from Evolution, where she laid out Asuka and Charlotte on the announce table and did the leg drop through the announce table, but Asuka got out of the way, and she ended up taking out Charlotte in that spot instead, which was kind of funny because she hit the table, but the table didn't break, but all of a sudden the table like broke like a second after she landed. It was kind of odd. It was kind of funny though at the same time. So just a lot of crazy stuff in this match, and the aggression from Charlotte I thought was great. I thought she definitely played that role that she's been playing since Survivor Series in terms of just wanting to beat the fuck out of people greatly, especially when she had the kendo stick, and you just see in her face that she just wanted to absolutely kill everyone. And I just thought it was an awesome match. The crowd was really into it, and you know, the finish was kind of insane as well. You know, you had Asuka and Charlotte on the ladder fighting it off, and then Becky got in the ring with a ladder. Asuka got taken out by Charlotte. Becky climbs the ladder. Her and Charlotte going at it on top, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Ronda Rousey comes out of nowhere, pushes the ladder down. There goes Charlotte and Becky. They're both taken out. Of course, as they're taking out, Asuka takes advantage of it, climbs the ladder, and retrieves the SmackDown Women's Championship, and is your brand new SmackDown Women's Champion. Very, very surprised with that. I thought Asuka definitely was just there to kind of be a filler. I didn't see her winning the match at all, and the fact that she did win it was very surprising to me. I definitely thought Charlotte was going to win it, face Ronda in a champion versus champion match at the Royal Rumble, and, you know, that was the direction they're going in. But obviously, it's not the direction they're going in. They could, you know, very well possibly still be doing Charlotte and Ronda at the Royal Rumble, possibly for the Raw Women's Championship. But I just thought Asuka winning was very surprising. Not saying she doesn't deserve it, because she definitely, you know, has had a pretty shit year in terms of just how she's been booking. So I definitely think this is a great way to kind of rehash her. But at the same time, this is very surprising because, like I said, I thought she honestly had no chance of hell winning it. And the fact that she did win the championship was very surprising to me. So Asuka wins a great moment to an incredible main event. You know, it definitely was a great match. I know some people probably say it's better than the Styles Bryan match, but like I said, my personal favorite match definitely was Bryan versus Styles. This is definitely the second, my second favorite match on the show. But yeah, I just thought TLC was one hell of a show to end the year for WWE. Like I said, that was a great show. You had a handful of great matches. You had some great moments as well, like, you know, Natalya, you know, for her father. Asuka winning the championship was a great moment. You know, the whole Corbin situation was a fun moment, and just segment in general. Even with Kurt coming back to a huge ovation, just a lot of fun with TLC. Really, no complaints. There really wasn't anything all that bad on the show. If it was bad, you know, it's easily erasable. Well, not erasable, but easily forgettable to the point where you don't even remember it happening. So TLC definitely was a great show in my opinion, and had a lot of fun with it. Definitely was a great time. And of course, I'll be going to Monday Night Raw tomorrow night as well, so I'll be doing back-to-back nights. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please like below. If you guys like, also in the comment section, leave your guys' thoughts on TLC, whether you're there live as well or watched on the network, of course. Feel free to leave your guys' thoughts on TLC in the comment section below. And of course, the next time, I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching the video.